morning. It's around 6:30 now. My back feels a lot better this morning compared to yesterday. Fortunately, it is like a lower body workout day, so I'm going to focus on that today. Just going to keep moving forward with the program even though I missed today, which in the past I maybe wouldn't have done. So let's just focus on forward momentum and as much as possible just staying with the timeline and allow the imperfection. Just yesterday was not the most productive day, and I kind of want to offset that a little bit by just starting off new and not thinking about it and just, focusing on what I can do today. After school, I know that one of my roommates and another girl from school are going to be practicing our Chick-fil-A presentation for December 10th, which is going to be right after school finishes up. So we're going to start practicing that. This was from an internship we did early this summer, back in July. That was like a full month-long internship where we did a bunch of research and put together this couple-hour-long presentation. Our end product was really a book, not the presentation, but we presented to our classmates as well, and the whole thing was probably 2-3 hours. So we're toning that down all the way to like 20 minutes. So we have to be very precise in how we say things, how we talk about things, and if there's anything else we can cut out, we're going to try and cut it out without losing any of the quality that we've put in. So it's going to be a little stressful, and I'm also trying to finish up my math class for the semester right now. So it's a lot in my mind, a lot on my plate, and hopefully I'll have some time to rest tonight so I don't get sick, because I feel like I'm dancing on the line of like I'm trying to do too much and I'm gonna get sick. So just gotta like exhale and just be in the moment that I'm in, which for right now is gonna be doing a workout to help relax and start the day off strong. So we're in full problem solving mode right now because I realized that the gym at the ICC doesn't really have a ton of bar, you don't have a bar that you can use to work out with, but I have one here at my apartment. So I'm out in my garage right now and I'm gonna knock out the squats, hip thrusts, and front bar reverse lunges before I go over there to do the rest of the workouts so that I don't have to use any kind of other objects to replace having a bar. So I was proud of that, so I wanted to share with you guys. Also, it's cold in here, so problem solving, I put on a sweatshirt. Other problem solving, I took a stool to use for the hip thrusts. So we're all set, problems are solved, and we're gonna get started. I just want to take a second to appreciate the chair I'm using for this workout. I was going to use a nicer stool, but it was too high and I felt bad for using it. So we're using this one and it lines up all right, but I have to put a lawn chair pillow on the edge so it doesn't hurt me. And it lines up right with this bike. So if I'm doing hip thrusts, I have to push out even further, and it's great. It works, but it's just really funny. I also here's my barbell right here. It's a, pretty standard one. I got it on Facebook Marketplace last year when I was in quarantine so I could still work out. But yeah, this is my really nice setup. It's great. And yeah, you should all want one for sure. Dining room chair. All right, it's around 8:40. I'm going to run to school. I'm not walking today because of my back. I'm going to drive. I was going to try and stay here this morning to see if I could stay for the pest guy being here, but since I'm the leader on my team, I really need to come in. I think, I don't know, I feel really bad about how poorly I showed up yesterday, and I didn't get much work done at all, but it's about focusing on moving forward, and I think to keep that forward momentum, I'll feel better if I go to school and just really focus on getting things done. Whatever that takes, instead of coming here to kind of get things done, I'm just going to work on 3D modeling things in my non-school time. So I'll be at school for that full day and then work on stuff here in the evening with SolidWorks and Blender to try and get that table modeled out. It's going to suck, but I'm going to do it. I'm also going to have to really bust my butt to get my math homework done. I should probably bring my stuff with me, honestly, and see if I can kind of I hate doing that, but it's what I have to do. So just gotta cram it out. There's like 3 things going on at once, which is always a good time. It feels great to be pulled in so many different directions, but it's great. It's a temporary thing. It's a couple more weeks and then I'll be done with that, and then I'll have nothing going on, which is going to be really hard. Sorry if you get my frustration in my voice. It's just I'm a little stressed at the moment because I'm doing this math class, I'm finishing out this interior design class, and I'm preparing for this big presentation for Chick-fil-A in just over a week and a couple days. I'm stressed, and it's going to come over into school, and add on top of that family stuff, mental health, and trying to keep up with my physical health. These are all things that should be supporting me, but right now it feels like they're limiting me. They're holding me back a little bit. So I'm going to just exhale. Driving myself to school instead of walking is going to save me a few minutes, and it'll give me time to just talk about things like this. But I'm hoping that I'll be able to set aside those other things and just focus on one problem at a time, which is for today just going to be leading the group well and showing up fully, being productive at school with school things. I'm not going to try and do my math class. I'm not going to try and, sorry, the lighting's weird. I'm not going to try and do my presentation until afterwards. And I'm just going to try and do the best I can to show up for the smaller moments so that I can do more with the time that I have. I'm trying to waste a little less time. I did end up spending like an hour on that workout, and so I didn't do the other half of it, and I didn't end up running because I wanted to eat breakfast and have non-stressful morning time. I didn't make any matcha or anything. I just had my normal oatmeal with almond butter and Greek yogurt and maple syrup, and some tea that I got last night with Sarah's mom's package. I'm excited about the day, but I'm feeling pulled so many different directions. Add on top that the pest control guy right now. But yeah, I'm gonna go and we'll figure it out. It's not good.
You just gotta say that
It's not that great. Say hi.
Chick-fil-A doesn't like us because we've got 7 orders in one car. Yeah. David's but it's Mr. Parpar T.
Mr. Parparty. Okay, so it is Tuesday night. I'm still at school. It's around 10-ish, a little after. I wanted to stay a little later to get my thoughts together from today because it was a lot. It was a lot of really cool stuff, but I didn't want to forget any of it, and I didn't want to go to bed before I wrote it down. And I just thought it'd be easier to talk about it at school where most people are already at home. So it's pretty empty. I'm in the one of the back rooms here at the ICC. There's just 3D printers and stuff. So it's a pretty quiet space apart from like all the vents that are going crazy right now. So I just wanted to summarize the rest of how today went. After this morning, I went to school despite the strong desire not to, which was a good decision. I think that I was afraid to, I feel like there's this horrible bias that we have where we think that talking about our struggles or feeling off or being vulnerable with people, the right people, is like the opposite of what we should do. We're like, I want to go to my room and hide. I want to be alone. I don't want to be with people. And I think it's a really limiting thing when we do that, when we think that way, because I think that's the opposite of what we actually need. We need to be with the right people. And I am fortunate to have some of the best people around me right now. I can't express how grateful I am for that. I don't even think they realize how significant they have been for helping me to be on the right track. Like, this morning was not great. Yesterday was terrible. But I had a good cry at lunch with my friends Maddie and Kayla, and I was able to talk to them about the stuff that I've been struggling with. So I think it's definitely important, obviously, to be wise about the people that you're open with, but also to be open with people that just want to love you. Like, it's the hardest thing to just let yourself just be with people and not be performing with people and not be proving that you deserve their attention and all that stuff. Like, even now, I feel significantly better than I did this morning. And again, I've been writing stuff down a lot, so I'm going to read some of these thoughts that I had today. So one is, stop waiting for the ideal circumstance or the ideal outcome to come from that. You have to make whatever you have work. So for example, this morning with my gym equipment, that was kind of a mess, but it worked. It honestly did. I felt like I was doing a good workout and I was able to maintain good form despite the terrible, it looked so bad. And it definitely wasn't ideal. I think if I was having my ideal situation, I would have a real bench that didn't slide every time I did something wrong. Fortunately, I also don't lift super heavy right now because I don't have a safe way to do that. Other thoughts that are similar, I think when it comes to doing like even simple stuff like my math homework, I would tend to try to have the perfect page and not have any like erased lines or whatever. I think there's something so wonderful about messy homework because it shows that you've been thinking through it. Again, that's like really important with industrial design because we spend so much time iterating, we spend so much time thinking, and you can't, and this is something I've heard a ton of times, but you can't edit the same time you're creating. So if you're writing a paper, you can't be editing your grammar while you're writing, or you're just not going to get anywhere. You're going to get somewhere, but it's not going to be anywhere good. I can tell you that much. I think another thing is efficiency is a big part of that perfectionism. It's a very inefficient way to try to have a perfect math assignment or a perfect art project or a perfect paper. I don't think it's possible, for one, but I also don't think it's practical or efficient. We only have so much time in our lives, so why wait for the perfect math assignment to happen? Out of all the examples to use, I chose that one. Why wait for the perfect relationship? Why wait for the perfect situation to start showing up for yourself and start working on things? I think another thing that is related to math is I've gotten really significantly better at not needing to know all the answers or not needing to know that all the answers I wrote down were right. I've been a lot more focused on the process rather than the outcome, and I think that's a significant shift in myself, honestly. I didn't even check most of my math practice assignments, and a month ago that would have made me so anxious. I would have been like, I don't think I got this right. Like, I don't think I know what I'm doing. I think I'm doing this wrong. Part of that was because this part was a lot easier, honestly. Like, the math before was really complicated and it was all stuff I didn't really know how to do, so it was new for me. But I'm really proud of that. Another thing is, I think loneliness really allows yourself to be lied to easily. We can believe a lot of things that aren't true because we don't have anyone to check our assumptions. We can really fall into black and white thinking and kind of, this is good and this is bad, or I'm good and I'm bad, or I'm perfect and I'm dumb, or whatever. Those generalizations that we can make, it's a lot easier to believe them when we are alone rather than getting feedback from other people who care about us. Along with that, we can struggle to believe that good things are true because it's not, it doesn't feel natural to us. I was thinking about this earlier because I guess at this point, I've just finished my math class. I didn't mention that yet, but I just finished my math class. And for some reason, I think I'm a little disappointed when it's not really overly difficult and too much for me to handle. I guess we have this, like, at least for me, it's like this, it has to be the most difficult, or I'm not trying hard enough, or I'm not pushing myself hard enough. That happens for me too with like assignments and stuff. I tend to think like if I'm not doing something that's really overly insane and difficult, it's not worth doing. I think that's a really unfortunate bias because we don't really put ourselves in circumstances where we can grow slowly. We're trying to rush our growth when we try to put ourselves in these really challenging situations. At least I feel that in my own life. I can try to be really over the top with what I try and do. So I'm going to edit this out. We can tend to be kind of over the top with what we're going to try to do. And actually, I'm going to move this. Another example of perfectionism is I really wanted to stop filming when I started shaking my camera around, but I don't have a tripod, and your girl ate a few hours ago. My hand's starting to shake a little bit. It's going to happen, but I hope that you can at least listen to what I have to say and not be thinking about the fact that my camera's shaking a lot. I think another thing is genuinely loving people means being there for them when they have nothing else to give. That was what my friends were able to do for me today. I really felt like I had nothing to give. I usually try to encourage other people, and one of my big goals in life is obviously to inspire people, but sometimes that requires a lot of energy. And when you don't have much to give and you feel really, really drained, it can be a little bit daunting to show up at all, especially for people that you feel like you're there to help, which is such a dumb thing to do. Like, why do I think that my role is to teach you? I'm not your teacher, and even if I was, like, I'm allowed to be human. Like, I don't have to be a robot. So yeah, why is it that when we need help, we act the most independent? I think that's a really big human issue as well. One thing that I'm vlogging. Trey, you interrupted my vlog. I was trying to write down my thoughts.
I heard you talking.
You're making me embarrassed now.
I heard you talking, and I was like, who's Susanna talking to? And I was like, oh, she's just talking to herself.
Yeah, I am talking to myself.
I'm on the internet now.
I know. Well, we'll see. I might cut that out.
Oh, man. You should cut that out.
I know. Okay, you have no idea how many times I've like cut things and like re-filmed things. I'm working on it. This is the whole point of it.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, the internet.
Yeah. So, another thing that I really wanted to touch on was that while perceptions themselves don't actually change reality, it changes how we relate to them. One morning, my sun was rising, and I could see it from upstairs really, really brightly with my window open. It beautifully lit the room. It was amazing. But downstairs, it was barely even light out. It was very dark still. So I think that even though our perceptions don't change the reality that the sun was where it was, they really do affect how much of it we get to see, and it really does change how we relate to it. So you might be the most wonderful person, but if you don't believe that about yourself, or you're not able to rise above, go to the second floor and see it, you're not going to really understand that. I think that, yeah, it's okay to fail, it's okay to be imperfect. Let's see, any other thoughts that I had? That's pretty much it. I wanted to also say that yesterday was really off. I was spacing out, and I really felt so guilty about not paying full attention to the person that I'm talking to. Today was a lot better for that, but there's still a lot of trying not to beat myself up, trying not to get caught up in those things, but acknowledging that I want to listen better, and I want to love the person in front of me better. What else happened? So after that wonderful lunch with my friends, I got more of my math homework done. I was way more efficient with it, like way more well rested, way more able to get things done. And surprisingly, I finished my math class today somehow. We also had people ordered Chick-fil-A. So there's a new Chick-fil-A that's just opened down the street, and a bunch of them went and got some Chick-fil-A, and I'll throw in the video that I have of us eating it together. They found out about the vlog, so of course I had to film them. But yeah, that was a really sweet time. I was honestly not really I was paying attention, but I was like, math homework. Like, I was still in that kind of mindset. So I was just honestly, I wish I was more present for that, because it could have been a really, like, it was a good time, but it could have been even better if I wasn't thinking about other things. So, basically, my key takeaway for today is I don't want to be perfect. I want to be happy. I think if there's anything I've learned the past couple days is when we put so much pressure on ourselves, it's not as enjoyable. Honestly, I didn't have as much fun lately as I have in the past, and today was a great break from that. But I guess when we get caught up in doing everything the way we think we should be doing it, it makes it really hard to just be there for the process and be there for those small everyday decisions that we make to help our lives be more fun and more enjoyable. And efficiency isn't about cutting everything out. Just like for me, minimalism isn't about cutting out everything. It's about making those things that you want to do more of them. You want to make more time for what you care about. So yeah, that's some of my thoughts today. Nothing too profound, but I just thought I'd summarize it. But yeah, I'm already so relieved from where I was this morning, and I can't take credit for that. That's 100% just the people that I'm around, and the just the really blessing that I have to be a student with some really cool people and an environment that really cares not just about me succeeding academically, but my overall growth as a human being. So I swear this isn't an ad for my school. It's not trying to be an ad for the ICC, but genuinely, like, they do care. So, and they give you flexibility and time to, like, have an extra long cry and a 20 minute longer lunch on accident. So yeah, it's just one more day, you know, one day at a time. So one day at a time. But I don't want to be perfect. I want to be happy. One more thought is there's nothing you need to prove about the person that you are. You can just be, and that's enough. I feel like I started this for the right reasons, as in, like, I want to learn how to communicate stuff better and be more confident in myself and find my own voice. But I think I really wanted this to be perfect. I really wanted this to be like the ideal, like, oh yeah, they knew what they were doing, like that's what they were figuring it out, and like they did everything perfectly. But this is better, you know? Even just this shaking, like, it's freezing cold out here, so of course it's shaking, and of course it goes blurry, but yeah, that's just how it is. So sorry, I just noticed something really weird.